Hello and welcome to Legacy Crusaders YouTube channel. This is Benji. Today I'm joined by Sonny of the Cut Yugioh Podcast. Say what up, Sonny.
Hey, how is everybody today?
All right.
I guess it's more of a podcast thing to say.
Yeah, I know. You're like talking to the people. I know we all talk to the people sometimes, but just so everybody knows, if you're here for this series, this is my new series where I'm going to try and help people do what every pro duelist ever suggests, is that to learn from better players and play with better players. And the way we're going to do that is by doing a version of my How to Play series where someone comes on with their deck list, they tell us what to do, and we try and learn from them. So we're going to assume, in this case, that Sonny is not the expert duelist. Not that he's bad in any way, but he would like to be a little better, and I'm going to try and give him some tips, discuss in-game decision-making, and so on throughout a few games on YGOPRO. So it's a little different from the How to Play series where we assume perfection, and then I try and ask questions from your perspective as the audience. I'm going to be doing a lot of backseat dueling for the most part. Now, before we get started, Sonny, tell us about the podcast.
Sure. I am one of the co-hosts of the Cut Yugioh Podcast. The other co-host, his name is Caleb. He was on with the Madolche video, I guess a week or two ago at this point. We post every Tuesday and every Friday. It's roughly an hour long. Some are like 50 minutes, some are like an hour 10. We talk about all the new cards that are releasing. We talk about all of the tournament results, pretty much anything related to the game, ban list, meta, talking about the meta, talking about things that are relevant. Whatever you need to be better at the game is kind of our goal. It doesn't always come off that way. Sometimes that it comes off as just letting you know what's happening in the game, news, notes, whatever. But pretty much talking about everything related to Yu-Gi-Oh! That's going on. So.
Yeah, it's always nice to have an audio form of that. And if you like these long-ass videos that I put out, as a long-ass podcast to listen to on your way to work, from work, etc., etc.
A lot of people listen to podcasts either while they're at work or on their commute because it's kind of hard to watch YouTube videos on like a commute or something. A podcast is a perfect thing, and there wasn't really a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcasts that updated like multiple times a week, and that was our goal, was to really capture that audience. So that's why we post so regularly and so religiously and stick to such a tough schedule.
All right, so everybody, that's twice a week. You can find them on every podcast platform, as far as I know, at the bare minimum, Spotify and iTunes, I guess.
Yeah, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all the main ones.
All the main ones. I know I find you on Spotify. I don't have you in my funny podcast app that I usually use, but I like Spotify for a few things. That and r/. I'm a big fan of r/. All right, so anyways, we're going to get into some duels. So this is your latest variation of Tri-Brigade. You've been playing it since before the ban list. We're post-ban list now. I see you have new Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards in here. The only new Yu-Gi-Oh! Card that's really come out in all this time in this never-ending format. It's getting kind of excessive.
It's Eternal format too, just worse.
Yeah, Electric Boogaloo. All right, yeah. So I normally do a quick card by card, but that's more for the How to Play series, where I assume people are coming in not having an idea what the cards are. So we're just going to briefly talk about any decision that you've made with your deck list you think may or may not be consistent with what other people are doing now. We've just the Remote Duel Extravaganza has occurred as of today, the literal day we are recording this. So this is Sunday, 10th of October. So I don't know if you've seen any of the lists popping up from the Top Cut
results or any of the lists.
Haven't? Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to see at this point, so I don't know if you know if your deck looks similar. I think I've seen like one player was on a Tri-Brigade list that didn't play the Zoo package, so that's a little different from what he was doing at the very least. He went undefeated in Swiss.
Yeah.
I think your list looks pretty normal, nothing weird or odd, which has happened in just about every list people have shown me so far. I think Caleb had the closest thing to a 100% on par list I was expecting for what he was playing from everyone who's come on for this so far. Expect that you'll be the most up-to-date on what you should be doing. So I don't see anything wrong with the list, so I guess we'll just get into some games and see if there's some decision-making issues.
There are one or two things that I would like to point out about the list that are kind of a little bit questionable from a decision-making standpoint on deck building. A lot of people want to play either a Zoo package or a Rescue Cat package. I liked to play both because I felt it was very important to keep a high amount of starters in the deck. You run like a dozen starters here, which I think is just critical because the deck without a bunch of starters, you can break, and it does happen. That's why I wanted to run a rat and 2 Thoroughblades. That way, if you open double Thoroughblade, you have combo. I wanted to run the Rescue Cats, and a lot of people that run the Rescue Cats, they think they just like absolutely have to run Gamma, but that's not true anymore because of Crossout. So I do already have 3 Crossout. I played them in a tournament this past weekend, and with 3 Crossout, I don't think you have to play a Gamma package anymore because you can still run 2 Veilers and 2 Ash. The deck space is kind of tight, but I felt like cutting down on the hand traps to 1 each made everything fit well. I do run 3 Karis, which a lot of people do not. Most people do not, but it's the best extender in the deck. And as long as you get one of your other 17 Tri-Beasts, he's live to some extent at least. So there's a couple of things in there that a lot of people aren't doing, that a lot of people don't want to, don't like, but I've really enjoyed this list, and it's performed very well for me so far.
I would say it looks for the most part pretty normal. I have seen people on less Karis, but they're usually on like Prosperity instead of Desires when that's the case.
Right.
Or they
Also,
acknowledge that 3 cat. Yeah, the cat plus the zoo package is something. I mean, the ban list hasn't been like turned over enough for people to really experiment that much for what to do with the 3 extra slots in the deck list. So pretty much we've replaced 2 Tenkies and a Barrage with 3 Rescue Cats, and the crossouts came in for the Gammas for the most part, right? That's essentially the big change.
More or less. I was at 42 before, but I also cut Ghost Spells because I don't think the format really dictates the need for them anymore.
I mean, nothing's really changed. I don't know if I'd say they're bad. They were always like best first Tri-Brigade in the scenario where Tri-Brigade actually didn't get access to the Appaloosa, which they do about 50% of the time, right?
It's close to it, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into some in-game decision-making, see if your technical play is where it needs to be. Now, of course, you play this deck. I don't play this deck, so there's always going to be opportunities where you'll know things that I won't know. I'm going to see if I can help you out in any way. All right. So again, theoretically, if you work with better players to get better, you will get better. Now, I don't expect to be much better if I am better, but I might have some different perspectives from playing against the Tri-Brigade deck versus playing using the Tri-Brigade deck. So let's get rolling. We are playing, including pre-release cards, so we might play against some OCG stuff or maybe some other things, but that's just so we get games, because YGOPRO, hard enough to get games as is. If we put on restrictions...
Okay. We'll figure it out. I'm sure between the two of us, we can figure out what's going on.
Oh, yeah. We might have to read a card here and there. Oh, man. I went to Locals the other day.
I just got a shiver.
Yeah, reading. I had to read Despia cards the other day. And I'm
Paper Strat for the win. First.
We are going first. You got it, boss. Look at all these starters.
Oh, my. No shortage of starters, that's for sure. Well, I guess if they got it, they got it. Let's go ahead and normal summon Rescue Cat.
Well, we have the backup plan if we need to, right?
Yeah. Attempt effect if they have no response.
Well, they are awaiting, so there is a chance that they have a response. Hey, look, they had a response.
That's fine. Activate Fractal.
Please don't have another response.
All right, cool. Let's send a kit.
Okay. Ever a situation where you wouldn't bother sending a kit? Are there such situations?
Oh, yeah, there's definitely situations. But I'm pulling out a kit and a Karis no matter what because of the cat, so it's fine.
Alrighty. Karis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here I activate Karis, pitch the other cat.
So we're going to keep our Thoroughblade. Should we need to do something a little more wild with Zeus later, I guess?
I just realized that was already a misplay. It should have been the Thoroughblade because I was saving the Thoroughblade in case of a Zeus, but probably should have saved the cat because we didn't activate the cat. So if we go into Ferrigite right here, we could have summoned the other cat and then activated cat and then gone berserk, but it's okay.
Well, at least you're spotting some of your potential play changes. That's good.
Yeah. Let's activate Karis, banishing 2.
Do you have a preference on what to keep in the graveyard?
I would like to keep the Fractal and probably the cat.
I agree. That way those are not eligible called by targets. What should we summon?
Go probably Bearbrum, yeah.
Keep in mind, I probably summoned things to the wrong zones because I was not thinking about that.
It's okay. We can go straight into Appaloosa here.
if I had summoned these not in the zone where the Ferjeet would have pointed to, would we have done something different?
Nah, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, you gotta activate that. Search Revolt. Probably the Effect Veiler since you already have Appaloosa.
Yeah, I guess that is double dipping. Do the same thing.
Yep.
Right.
Set it. Could be anything.
Yeah, they'll never guess what that is.
Yep. Could be anything. It's a shame. They should have saved that Imperm for the Appaloosa.
Yeah, some decks can't play through it. It's almost like a floodgate. Almost.
But it's not.
No, it's not. Which has never been my argument. There's something, if anyone would like to join the Top Cut Podcast Discord server, we had an argument over whether Appaloosa qualifies as a floodgate, and I like to say it's effectively a floodgate in the right circumstance. And then
a 3-day long argument.
Yeah, and then Skyhawk likes to say it's an unnecessary additional comment to make, and I don't disagree. It might be unnecessary, but it doesn't hurt to say it.
Okay, so I don't really know a ton about plunders.
Well, I have a how to play plunder video if anyone wants to learn about that in the future. But pretty much this card lets them discard anything to search a plunder card. I'm pretty sure most of them activate on our turn, so they might not matter.
I just want to say we went into Appaloosa on summon 4.
Oh, that's cool. That worked out.
And they discarded a nib.
Well, they knew it didn't make a difference. Okay, so let's just take a moment and read some of these things. This one says you can send a plunder monster from your hand or field to the grave to special discard from your hand, which they didn't do. If this card's in the grave, you can discard one card to special discard, but you can not special summon for the rest of the turn except plunder. So usually they make Almiraj summon this back from grave and they go into the Blackbeard, which is the only one they actually can use on their turn.
What is the spell card that he activated?
Yeah, let's read that. Equipped to a plunder.
If he normal summon that, I feel like he wouldn't have had another one.
Let me just let them know we're reading so that they don't just get annoyed. Send this card equipped to the graveyard to special summon a plunder monster from the extra deck of the same attribute. So this will let them do kind of the plunder thing, which is to equip this to the monster and then summon a monster.
So it's automatically going to go ahead and send to the grave, right?
It's an equipment spell. They have to trigger that separately. So we can just banish them the golden hair, and that should deal with both cards.
Yeah. And you absolutely want to get your banished Kit and Nerval?
I'm just curious. There is some argument to keep
the...
Yeah, just the Nerval. I was thinking, we keeping a banished one makes sure I do more, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Keep one banished. It does not matter what the other 3 are.
Preference on the zone for Shurig.
Yeah, you want it in the middle column. Because of Appaloosa's link arrows, your other 2 are already, and you're just adding yourself another link arrow.
Well, Nerval and Shurig. How would you like to chain block?
Nerval will be 2, Shurig will be 1.
So we're preventing Shurig from being hit by something doing this? Or we don't mind if they ash because then we get to Appaloosa it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. And what's our preferable add to hand? I've heard Kit is the better choice after you've gotten the first Fractal to go through.
I'm a big fan of a Fractal right here.
Okay, because all this, I hear this is just good at like running you out of monsters faster. But I guess if you want to draw other cards, it might be better to go that way.
Yeah, well, the thing about the Fractal is I can normal summon a Fractal and he's big, which sounds dumb, but yeah, there you go. I can either normal summon a Fractal and he's big, or you can you can normal summon a Fractal, and if they like try to do something right there, you can activate his effect and send him to the graveyard and then start searching and recurring. So like that Fractal can turn into a Karis later, and then you can pitch the Thoroughblade with the Karis to special on Karis and keep going.
All right.
So like if they Veiler the Fractal when you normal summon and try to activate his effect, then you can activate his effect to send him to the graveyard. So
I'm not sure about that one. I'll get back to that in a second. Cards in your side that are good in this matchup would probably only be the Storms. They don't really have spell trap
negates. You have to bring in the Lancia.
Oh, in case they play against us?
Yeah, it's there for cross-out.
All right. And the Storms are good against all their cards, so let's bring those in if possible.
Yeah. And
should we cut Strike since we're going second probably?
That's exactly what I would cut, yeah.
All right, now there is a chance that they make us go first. just so you know.
I think even if they make us go first, this is honestly fine.
Yeah, Plunder is a deck that kind of takes advantage of the attributes of monsters in our graveyard and on our field, so sometimes they like us to go first so we can do stuff, but they still set up a decent, like, protection board. I think I was looking at one of the extravaganza lists, and there's a name up there. It was like Douglas Haddad, and he's like always on Plunder, so he was like in like second in Swiss at some point. I don't know where he finished, but I know Plunder can do stuff.
Now that I think about it, you are correct. You wouldn't be able to activate the Fractal there.
Yeah, because I hate to use the term follow to grave, but if a monster is negated on field, like properly negated, not just negated while equipped, if you activate it on the field, it was still negated on field. I had to talk to a friend about, are you familiar with, this thing will summon something from deck. Okay, so when they leave the field from the monster zone, they can summon one from deck. I think this one, when it is, if this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can target a plunder you control and equip this card to it. So you can discard a card to draw a card. So this one is letting him draw a card, and this one is letting him equip himself to something, but I don't think he can equip himself to any of the monsters he currently has, so I'm not really sure what he's doing. He's trying to draw a card, I guess?
Yeah, fine. He can draw a card, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a little unclear. I don't think this one's got a special one from the deck. There are two of them do, but I don't think either of those were the ones. Alright, so that one adds one back from grave and summons itself.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I think it does something when it's sent from to the monster zone to the grave. Alright, so this one means his guys are online now. Currently he can't do anything because we have nothing in the graveyard, so if we just storm it, it's dead.
For sure.
And because they don't play any spell trap negates, it just doesn't make sense to bother putting in like Dark Ruler for this matchup.
Right.
Alrighty.
So
go ahead.
Right here, there's like you got like 3 starters in hand, which is broken. What I probably do though is I probably do foolish trying to get an Ash if they have one. Yeah, they have it. Yeah, perfect. That's beautiful.
Were they correct in ashing us here? I mean, obviously, based on the hand we have, I don't think it matters where they ash us. I guess ashing Nerval might be the best thing for them.
It does. I mean, it doesn't matter for them. I'd go 10 key right here in the far left column. I don't know why I said that. I guess the column doesn't super duper matter, but well, they've already ashed. I guess they could have a Veiler and Imperm, especially since they have no cards on their field. TF Fractal. I was gonna think about Rat Pierre, but yeah, Fractal is probably correct.
Alright, so we lose to Imperm or Veiler on Rescue Cat, in a sense, but we don't technically lose. Alright, so Cat or Fractal?
I would probably Fractal.
To the graveyard to send Kit and Nerval, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
At the very least, I hear it's good early on to just make sure you have those 4 in grave, so you have all your options.
Yeah, and not only that, it also lets you, it gives you an option for, and grab Karis. It gives you an option for a Revolt later, as long as you can get to it. Normal summon Karis.
Alright, so we're going to use Cat off of the Furgit.
And whenever you do your first normal summon of a Tri-Brigade, do it all the way in the left every time. Oh, that's pretty rough.
Well, I guess I know what our play is.
If only we had a cross. Almost. Yep, hit him from 12. On to the next one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if we would have... I mean, obviously, playing around Lancea is very difficult to do. Obviously, there's only one thing we can draw to do anything about that. Okay, so this one's... They discard a card to add a plunder. So, and this one... We'll let him discard a card to draw. So if we just ash this, he might not get to a play. But he might draw a play.
Yeah, I'd say ash it.
Alright, because one's a guaranteed play and one's a not so guaranteed play.
Yeah.
So they got rid of an ash. So they're down 2 ashes already. A lot of their monsters are actually quite small and can't run over a Karis, so I think a lot of them have 1,000. Although I think this thing gives them 500 for plunder back row.
Sometimes it's just like that.
Yeah. Alright, well, they got 2-0'd. Nicely done. I was genuinely thinking though, like if we were really concerned about Lancia, not that it's realistic to be completely concerned about that against a rogue deck, what are the chances they have the right, hand traps? I mean, not saying that Lancia is not a big deal, and we did put it in specifically for crossout, but I'm thinking like, was there an argument to potentially get the rat instead to have more things to do should we get stopped? Because we can always, either set up Zeus or set up Furjet to summon Cat. Cat could still do some stuff. I don't know how much Cat's gonna do under Lancia.
Cat under Lancia lets us get a Fergie on board, and since we already had a Tri-Beast in hand, we can go Cat into Fergie, summon one and make a Rugal, and then on our next turn we can bring one back. Or on their next turn we can bring one back.
We also could search Rat, normal Rat, Rat send Blade, Chakanine revive Blade, make Furjet, summon Cat, Cat summon Kit, and Keras make a
Fergie.
Or Bearbrum. Well, we would have made a Furjet already. Then we can make Appaloosa for 2 and search Revolt. So there are some options if we went the Zoo route as well, right?
There's definitely a line where you play around Lancia, but I think...
I mean, obviously, assuming that they have Lancia isn't necessarily worth doing. Plus, we have Valor, so it's not like we're auto-dead. Although, a lot of their monsters trigger on our turn, so Valor's kind of dead there.
Right. The thing I was most worried about was, I mean, they probably would have said Imperm if they had it. So, I mean, but with them having no cards in hand, they can't activate an Imperm from hand, and we know they're running that. We know they're probably sided in Effect Valors if they didn't, or if they weren't already maining it. So, I think it's realistic because Effect Valors and Imperms kill us just as much as Lancia sometimes.
Yeah,
So,
and they're more common, so we should assume that they're on those, in which case we would lose harder to... I guess we lose equally as hard regardless of the starter. The only one that sort of does something productive in the event that they're on those is the Zoo play, because then we at least can get Zeus, I guess.
So the logic behind it though is I very rarely play around Lancia because you have Effect Valor and Imperm. It feels like there's more stuff that just negate a monster's effect on field rather than stop everything from being banished. So it's like they have to have a 3 of, or they have to have like one of a 6 of, more or less,
All right. Not saying it was going to make a big deal in the long run, but it's always good to consider this. Lancia could become more popular depending on what happens with the other decks in the future. I don't think the newer decks are going to be super affected by it for it to becoming that much bigger. Like Flunder have a lot of their monsters get banished, but I don't think that's important to them. It's more for chain blocking, right?
Yeah, but they can also run like D-shifters and stuff. So
that's because they don't mind their cards getting banished. But I'm just saying people aren't going to be playing Lancia just to stop them. They might play it for. I can't think of a deck that people are going to actively play Lancia for, and that's actually one of the good things about Tri-Brigade right now. I think there's enough variety in the format where Lancia is not like a choice.
The other one is PK.
Yeah, and there are other options for PK also. Like, I think still currently with Drytron in the format, people have to play Droll to stop, like, Drytron in some cases, in which case Droll almost stops PK. Not exactly, but similarly. All right, let's get into another match. Maybe we'll see some more interesting interactions. Hopefully we'll get something a little more normal that we both are familiar with, because I only sort of know Plunder from doing the how-to video.
Yeah, there's a guy that regularly comes to tournaments around where I'm at that plays Plunder, so I'm just like, ugh.
At your sponsor?
Well, he was there yesterday, but he was on a different deck. But there's other shops, there's 3 or 4 shops within an hour or 2 of us, and a lot of the same people that travel for all the tournaments. So yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we got everything. What do?
Activate Keras, pitch Kit. It's the best move in the deck.
So if they gamma us, we just we have 2 engrave.
To the left, left. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes. Send an Nurball. Grab Fractal, sure, yeah. Activate Keras for 2. Yo, that's tough. What was the other one that they pitched?
That. Are you familiar with
What?
Triaris Hycuria? It's
No.
all
No,
right.
I'm not.
So I'll read the text real quick. It says during the main phase, if this card is in your hand or your graveyard, it has a quick effect. You contribute up to 3 fairy monsters, which is a cost, to special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Then you can apply the following effects in sequence depending on the number of monsters tributed. This is a 1929, by the way. Light fairy. If you tributed 2, you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls. If you tribute 3, you can draw 2 cards. Also, so this is sometimes played in like Generator because they'll summon like 5 tokens. They're all fairy, so they'll tribute 3 and summon it. The only other thing I can think this might be played in is like there's some versions of like the Synchron deck that play like Diviner. But that's as much as I know about it. Anyways, we have to make a new plan. So, any thoughts on what we're doing?
Ooh. Yeah. So right here.
I think the play is set nerve all pass, but you might know more than I do on this one.
I was thinking normal summon Nerval, make Almirage, grab another Karis, then
we already used Nerval. That's the reason I said it the other way.
You're right.
But
I was thinking we have 1 engraved. That's what made me think that. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's set Nerval pass.
In the left, I guess?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some recent DB Grinder videos where people are trying to Nerval multiple times per turn. I think this is Hyperion stuff. This is the new fairy support.
Well, that's kind of a good card. Yeah, I think that eats the Ash.
Yeah, I think so as well. Because there's no guarantee they have any other play.
Yeah.
Oh shit, forgot about that. So yeah, it's a quick effect,
That's
so it's just gonna dodge the Valor. So odds are we were never gonna resolve the Valor on something relevant. But if we waited longer, he might get to pop 1 of our cards or draw 2 cards also.
Yeah. Holy moly. We're about to be comboed.
Yeah, and I'm not too familiar with a lot of these cards. This one I think I've seen recently. This one I think is out.
This one was released in the Dawn of Majesty.
Yeah, it was in my friend's Despia deck I've not read the cards for. Oh shit, that's a lot of monsters.
Yo, we're getting bodied.
I mean, I don't see a negate on this board, so it might not matter.
That's true. He's still got a kill. Oh no. He's synchroing. Oh no.
I've not read this
I'm in
one.
Danger.
There's a Venus. Is this thing copying Venus?
Yep.
That's pretty broken.
Yep.
Well, at least we get to... I mean, one of the good things about playing against this random stuff on YGOPRO is you get to see it early and get an idea of what the hell you should be scared of for next format. Discards a card, add a Dark Lord. You're already normaled, I think. So.
Yo, is this just Lestat? I said, is this actually just Lestat YGO?
Lestat? What's that?
He's a YouTuber. He does Dark Lord content.
I was not familiar that there was such a person. I might need a how-to Dark Lords.
Yeah, Yeah. This is an Appaloosa now. If he wants it.
I actually thought he was going to go into access code and just blow up our guy. And then just go for game, with 3,000 and the 53. So obviously, I think we lose.
He's got it all.
Yeah. And he knows what we're on, so there's no harm in scooping here, unless some sort of effect.
This is game 2 for sure.
It is. Now, the only reason I'm waiting is I haven't read any of these cards, so there's always a chance that one of them says they can't attack.
Yeah.
No, it was Bhutan. What does Bhutan do? Banish this card from the grave to target a face-up level 4 or lower light fairy monster you control and treat it as a tuner.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool, just to randomly make a monster a tuner. And this card sends any agent card and copies its effects. So if you can make a synchro, you can get Venus, which is pretty wild. New Hyperion.
Yo, I want to build this deck.
Yeah, every time I've played it, it's been pretty wild. It just randomly banishes a card. Alright, Epaloosa for 2. Okay, so we can scoop now. Alright, that didn't go so well.
Alright, wow. Well, let's go. Let's do some Nibiru's.
Yeah, they definitely summoned a lot.
The Lancia.
Did they banish that much? Oh, that's for us to protect ourselves. Okay.
Let's see. We're going first. I don't think Anti-Spell does anything.
I don't think so either.
I don't think that he actually is activating Sanctuary Sky. I think he's just putting it in his graveyard. I guess it can't hurt. Yeah, put it in. Let's see what happens.
Well, we might as well take advantage of everything we can do going first. So we got to cut 6.
So I think, let's see, probably. Usually, what I like to do is I like to do 1 Karis just as like the first one out. Going, actually, now that I think about it, probably not even the nibs, because like realistically, if we can get our stuff, like if we can get going, if we can get like an Apollousa on the field, like we're probably not worried, right?
I would still leave 1 in. I don't know. I like cards that are good in case things all go wrong, and I just happen to have drawn them. They're helpful. It's more helpful than other
nibs
things.
In. That way we can draw it against them, and we can use it for cross out. So, let's take out since we're going second, let's take out the Veilers.
Yeah, I think these are the
cards. We're going first.
Well, we could cut a little bit of a mix to keep cross out on.
I keep forgetting. Crossouts are still new to me. And I'm fine with cutting 1 cat.
All right, we got to cut 1 more card. We can cut 1 Ash too for the same reason. You know, we're going second. I mean, going first.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
All right, but if we're never going to have room for 3 nibs going first, we might want to think about that side pattern in the future.
Yeah.
This looks pretty good.
Oh, wow. This is broken.
All right, what's the play?
Foolish Burial.
Foolish Burial? You got it, boss. And we didn't draw any of the hand traps, so this designator can get everything.
Oh, my goodness.
Urval?
Yeah. Oh, dang it. That's fine.
I figured the kit was going to get it off the Karis discard. Karis?
Yeah. And then activate Karis and kit. And dare him to have a hand trap.
Well, he probably is on 3 orange light. Left zone. You got it, boss. Alright. What should we send at this point?
You can send a Fractal.
Alrighty.
Since we're on 2 Karis. Normally I would send a Karis, but we cut 1. So activate Karis for 2.
Alright, you prefer the right side of the board? Well, I guess here we have to, right?
Yes, you have to.
That's why I was thinking this Karis makes more sense in front of either EMZ, but I'm sure maybe later on it'll matter. Alright, now what?
Here's the interesting thing. Now that I think about it, we probably should have gone into Bearbrum, Normal Summon Thoroughblade, and gone into Apollousa.
Well, we can't make the Bearbrum. Well,
correct. We can. No, yeah, we can. Activate First Yeet. And summon the Thoroughblade. And then link the Thoroughblade and the Karis into,
Thoroughblade and Karis into what?
Bearbrum.
Can we? Pretty sure it requires 2 Tri-Brigades.
No.
2 Tri-Brigade monsters.
Oh, Tri-Brigades. I guess it'll have to be Karis and Kit. I mean, Karis and First Yeet.
Do we want to put back any of these cards? At the very least, we should. No. Well, we can make them think we're doing it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I just don't think there's anything realistic. Yeah, it can go.
Yeah, but they don't need to know that. I guess at this point we just have to make like Sheller.
Yeah, Rugel's actually like not a bad card.
Yeah, only now I feel bad about banishing both of those. I guess there's a kit still in the graveyard, right? Oh no, I banished both of those.
It doesn't matter.
And
we're gonna revolt for the Omen before we do the Rugel.
All right, so we're gonna put back the designator, I guess.
Yeah, we're at the end of the combo. It doesn't matter now. Set IO, set revolts, and phase. So here's something really interesting that we can do. We can actually, at any point in standby or main phase, activate Revolt and not even care.
Just to use the Sheller later and bring back one
Yep.
of the cards?
Yep.
That could work. Also nice to know is we hard summon the Bear Brim, so we can actually summon it back off the Revolt, so we can actually search another Revolt.
Yep.
A lot of people aren't good at keeping track of what they... Huh. Alright, so that's sending something to Grave.
It's fine.
Well, it might send... What would it send?
Intis is the scariest thing it can send.
Well, they don't know where the Revolt is. Okay, so that thing can tribute and...
Oh, yeah, they're just using that thing to...
Diviner has an effect on tribute. Are you familiar with it? Yeah, it's very rare. Special summon a level 2 or lower fairy from your hand or deck. I don't know exactly which fairy they'd bring out.
I think you just have to let it resolve. I don't think there's anything you can do about that.
I think there... No, there isn't. I was trying to think if there was like an awkward moment for like the... What do you call it? The Ben 10 thing, the ruling to come up?
Yeah.
Like if we would miss the opportunity to banish whatever they summon at this point, which would be nice. Okay, that thing doesn't seem particularly worrisome.
Well, they're about to link.
Hey.
Oh, what does that thing do again?
Negates anything.
Return target one card on the field. Destroy it. That's pretty good.
And it can negate anything.
Holy moly.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, neither did I.
Well, it's part of playing against new cards.
Okay, let's see if we can bait it. Let's activate Rugal, I guess.
Yeah, the other thing is it's a negate once per ever, which is also important. What should we bring back?
Fractal's fine.
All right.
And attack, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And attack.
Yeah. Oh, he's got 1600 defense. Yeah, do it in defense. That's fine.
Well, he can pop one card on the field, and we don't know what he'll pop. Oh, he picked the right one, so I guess we have to activate it.
Yeah, you just don't have a choice.
He's a negate once per time while he's on the field. So
yeah.
He can't negate us next turn.
Whoa. Your card's so good. Chain. That's fine.
Well, it's unfortunate we have to put a target on our Imperial Order, though. Well, okay. So Neptune is too special an agent. Oh God.
Oh wow, that's
Alright, so
that's tough.
The odds of us not dying is like somewhere around 0. We're like dead for sure. There's nothing here really locks them into anything from what it seemed last game, so I think we can scoop and try and get in another match.
I kind of want to see what he does, honestly.
Me too. It's just so many cards to read, and Yu-Gi-Oh players and reading.
We're not gonna have time to read him anyway. We're just gonna watch him go burr for a moment.
Yeah, nothing wrong with. This is one of the way you learn what's happening.
Yeah, well, that's why I want to watch him go burr.
Yeah.
I want to know what he does.
Well, that tuner was definitely a very non-scary card. Didn't
Until
expect
it was
that.
super scary.
Oh yeah, this card is broken. I think this card's existence is a mistake, but
I will agree, but I will say Chevalier des Fleurs was my favorite card when I was a kid. So I do think it's still very cool.
Yeah, I don't remember that card so much. I was on and off from the game for longer periods of time.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't play until I stopped playing before Synchros came out, and I started again after Pendulums were a thing, so.
You took the exact opposite path I took. I started playing again while Synchros were out, probably about a year before Xyz. So around Edison format is when I started playing a little bit, and then I stopped playing right before Pendulums came out.
I don't know. I imagine that time period is probably more useful than the route I had, but either way.
Well, at least you understand Pendulums.
Yeah, I know what those do. They're spell cards. and monster cards. I thought at most he was going to go into a Fibrax before. I definitely wasn't seeing the Synchro coming. What does this thing do? Banish a... If a fairy is sent to the grave, you can banish one fairy from your grave to summon a fairy from your hand. And Hyperion is just a Dark Arm Dragon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's once per turn?
Well, yeah, but it's not quite as good, but it's still good.
Oh, if Sanctuary's on the Sky's on the field, you can do it twice per turn.
Oh,
Oh, this card is broken. I love this card. I got killed through my guys just becoming 0 earlier in like a random game online.
that's tough.
Yeah.
This whole sequence is tough. Activate Rugal.
I mean, we will reduce his monsters by 300 times the number of monster types we control, which is none, so...
Yeah, well, yeah. You know.
I used to think it just reduced guys by 300, because every time I killed it, there was always something on the field.
Yeah.
Alright, so obviously that is what happens when you don't know a matchup, and predicting floor was hard to do, although now that there's a negate in a box, and we gotta worry about it being made by anybody and everyone. I guess
I'm going to pick up 50 copies of that card when that set releases.
It's probably a solid idea. Probably gonna try and play it. I like all of its effects are good. You can shuffle it back into the deck. You can summon back lower level monsters. You can summon it again. It's really good.
Yeah, that card's insane.
Yeah, I don't know that people might play more than one of it in the what do you call it, Sword Soul, just because.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I think most of us do only play one. I'm not sure if they're gonna how much they're gonna stick with the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, but we'll see.
Man, you might just cut that whole match from the video. That was rough.
I mean, the point isn't to.
It's a joke, yeah.
Yeah, I never cut anything. I think I've cut like things that ended in like 30 seconds for other dumb reasons. Oh, we lost a dice roll.
That's
I mean, do we play Dragoon in our main deck for a crossout target?
tragically no.
Okay. Well then. Well, they bricked one of the monsters, so.
You know what? Dragoon Pass is honestly not the worst.
Yeah.
Especially with this hand. We actually have like a lot we can do with this hand.
Well, I see we are holding an out in our hand for Dragoon if we wanted to just do that. But what is your thought?
Here's the really interesting thing. We have so much gas in our hand that we can just kind of normal summon Ratpierre and bait the Dragoon.
Bait it with Rat? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we can literally just make Zeus and double Zeus and not care about the Dragoon at all.
See? Perfect. Wait, did he... What?
Obviously, you play as many Dark Magicians as possible. All right. Now what?
Activate Foolish Burial.
All right. In case you were thrown off, he discarded a Dark Magician for his Dragoon. All right. Now what?
Kit.
All right. Kit.
And Nerval. Cross out.
I'm a big fan of the sound effects. They've been added to the podcast on more recently. One of my friends does that over like everything. So,
Really?
Well, that's how you win 2 games at 1. You activate a new card that people should expect, and yeah, I'm not used to the declared card name part of this card yet. Anyways, let's try and get a match with someone who plays.
I almost want to save that so we can see what the other cards in his hand were.
All right. I'm just gonna call this replay Dark Magician. I hope my other replays when we go to the replay thing aren't offensive. What did I name them? Okay, I didn't name anything offensive here. Sometimes
I'm so curious.
2 ashes.
He couldn't play the game anymore.
Indeed.
Was it a whole Dark Magician deck? Are we allowed to see his deck? Is that how this works?
Yeah, we can take a look.
Oh, it was a whole Dark Magician deck, sort of.
Yeah, with the Dogmatica cards.
Dogma Magician.
This new card.
Dog Magician?
Got the ritual.
Oh, and there was an invoke package. Oh.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of everything. It's probably a decent deck. I'm just not sure 2 Dark Magicians is the way, but
Well, he also turbo bricked, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, we didn't, so destroyed.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's
I was gonna
see if we can get a match with something that plays one Dark Magician.
He discarded the second Dark Magician. I was like, what is going on?
And I think so he had to fuse one of the Dark Magicians from hand and then pitch the other one just to show us how he bricked. You know how you discard your driver off of your Dragoon?
Yeah, that man all the way exited the game. That's what that lost connection is. He exited the entire application.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It literally just means they exit out. All right. I guess we're going first. I was excited to go second, but I don't want to purposely make us make bad choices. Looks like we opened broken. Thoughts on your playline?
Normal Summon Rapier is really good, actually.
Okay, but we lose to either of our plays getting stopped, really, right?
Nah, not at all.
No?
Normal Summon Rat's broken here. Because even if they Ash the Rat, it's great. Because now you can activate Fractal and do Fractal into Git.
Just taking a moment to think before I click that for sure. Gotcha.
Into Nerval. Add Karis.
All right.
And an Almirage.
That's what I thought you would say. All right.
Yep. And set 2. And now you have a Shuragon line.
Conveniently, the exact number of things we needed. The only thing is, maybe we didn't need Karis, but I guess the Revolt will give us the second choice.
Yeah.
This is the search card. So this is the Sword Soul search card. I don't think we can reliably Ash any other part of the Sword Soul deck because they all chain block each other.
Yeah, I'm with it. Just, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's running the 10E package.
Alright, so this one can... Specials a 10E from deck. I don't think we need to worry yet.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it yet.
Have you played against it a little bit?
Someone's the Baroness.
Well...
I'm sorry?
Have you played against the Sword Soul stuff lately? Or at all?
Nope, 0.
This is one of the
I don't
reasons...
play online at all.
You play so many games so fast. It's worth... Okay, so that thing is a problem.
What does it do?
Alright, so Vashuda says if they control a non-effect monster, they can bounce a card by banishing it from grave. So they keep the monk here. I don't know what they're going to do with these, but they didn't summon a Sword Soul card, which is relevant.
They also haven't normaled yet.
So this is going to search them a Sword Soul, so we can just keep them off of it with the Imperm. They did normal. They normaled the Adhara.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'd go ahead and Imperm that there.
Now, the question is, will they use the Vashuda to bounce? Because we kind of want them to waste Vashuda. So this is just a bounce. So, if we out the monk, they can't do that, but then it'll still be there. The Adhara has the effect to banish itself to add back a Tenyi, so it can add back this one. But if they can't use the Vashuda, they can't add the Vashuda back, and Vashuda is just a good way to screw up plays to begin with. So they've already normal. They can't search the... I mean, I guess we could just see what they do. If we're going to revolt early, we might as well just let them use the Vashuda so it's gone, but they have the one that adds it back. Alright, so they're just going to force it out anyway.
You just have to do it.
Yeah. I think I'll pick these 4.
Could be any 4.
Yeah.
Really.
Ever get nibbed on your opponent's turn after this?
Nope, never happened, because this is all one summon.
It's still... No, it's 5 summons.
Really?
It can happen, 100%. Alright, chain blocks. What do you want protected?
You need the Nerval protected here.
Alrighty. All right, so mill a random Tri-Brigade card. Anything we don't care about so much.
You don't want to top deck a Karis.
Okay. We get to banish. The monk doesn't really do anything other than keep this thing live, which I don't think matters right now. So this guy's more of a problem, I guess.
Yeah.
And we get to pick one up for follow-up. Preference?
Fractal.
Okay. Again, I've heard kits usually that take on the grindingness because, like, if your kit gets stopped, it goes to grave, it searches Nerval, then adds the follow-up to the hand. Whereas if the Fractal gets stopped, like we mentioned earlier off of Valor, we wouldn't be able to just do a follow-through with it because it would be negated. So I'm not sure that that's the correct choice. Just saying.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying for sure. The thought process behind the Fractal is that Fractal could be anything, right? So
that is true, but the kit can also be anything because the kit is the Nerval, and the Nerval is everything.
Right.
Well, we should be able to win. What was that?
Normal summon Fractal.
Alrighty. I probably shouldn't have gone there.
Yeah, right there is kind of rough.
Okay.
Activate Karis and Nerval.
I guess this would be out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
trigger Shurag Chainlink 1 or Nerval Chainlink 1, Shurag Chainlink 2.
I'm actually thinking if this is even worth doing because this opens us up to more stops at the moment. I don't know if we would be safe from them later.
You can go ahead and grab the kit here.
Because now we're susceptible to gamma / imperm. But I mean, whenever we attack, they can always like make access code like little.
Right. I would grab.
And we still have access to the Karis.
I would link off the Shurag and the Fractal into a Ferjit. Oh wait, no! Whoa! There's nothing banished. Whoa.
Yeah.
Activate Karis.
We can just do that first.
You can go for. Does he have any? What all does he have in his graveyard as far as monsters?
Valor, Ash, and that thing.
If he's only got one, you can just go into Frostfogger, and that's literally just game.
And he's got two.
You're already at 61, honestly, so just banish for 3, go into Rugal, and just attempt for game.
All right, is Rugal bigger than the
and the rat? I'd probably go Rugal just in case.
This is game on board.
Yeah, that's game on board.
Well, they knew it if we didn't. they conceded. So we're up against future matchup, Sword Soul, which would be weak to the negations with Dark Rulers. Spell cards get them because they have a monster negate, and the Baroness can negate anything, so we might be able to stop them with Nib, or we can stop them with Dark Ruler for everything.
So we're going second.
Yeah.
More than likely. So what I'm probably taking out is, honestly, 3 strikes, probably IO. Probably bringing in the Dark Rulers. Delancia has to come in. Because they're running the Tenyi package, I think we probably want Nibs because we can probably get rid of one Karis, and then do we have to have the Valor. We can't side out Valor. We can do one Imperm maybe. For ratios, bad ratios everywhere, and we could probably cut one cat. Yeah.
I spelled wrong. I spelled the wrong aloud.
Wow, he was rushing us for side decking. Wow.
I'm not sure. He just said time.
Wow.
All right. So we keep him off the token with this, and that'll kind of end his turn.
Sure, Baylor. Yeah. It's tough opening Crossout and Lancia. That's so tough.
Well, we can turn off his called by.
Yeah, sure. Lancia is not really good for anything else at this point.
It'd be funny if he now cross outs our Lancia.
Crossout's hard once, but oh yeah, he's got okay, yeah.
He didn't cross out yet.
Oh yeah, he activated called by not cross.
Send a worm from the deck to the graveyard. If you control a non-effect monster, which he does not, you can add a Tenyi to the hand. He can't make a non-effect monster currently, so he can't use the Tenyi he sent. So all he did is expose his hand a little bit.
This is tough. This is rough.
Indeed. Thoughts?
Unfortunately, this is a Kit, Almirage, Nerval, grab Fractal, and pass. And set the cross out.
Alright, so Kit, Nerval.
Obviously, we know he doesn't have any interruptions in hand.
Fractal the hand?
Yeah.
Alright, set Designator?
Yes, I would.
Okay, I agree with every single thing we've done here. This is good. He can't make a token with the cards that are in play, and he can't get the non-effect monster currently to turn on his 10E monsters, the one in hand or the one in the graveyard. Well, he's just going to battle, which doesn't change our game plan.
Nope, it sure doesn't.
Ouch.
Big oof.
Yeah. I think they play Baguska as like a really random card they like to play for like putting...
Yeah, they definitely do.
I was thinking about putting Token Collector under it. That could be useful.
Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, activate Fractal in hand. Ah, he drew a thing.
Alright. Nerval
Probably,
search.
Yeah, it's definitely Nerval Karis right here.
We took out a Karis, so we might not have a lot of stuff left for cats. So we could.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. So I guess it is probably a Fractal here, right?
Or a Kit. I think Fractal will be fine though.
Yeah, I think Fractal, because you can just normal summon the Fractal, and it's the same as normal summoning a Karis.
Yeah. To the left, and maybe we go into Bear Room this time?
So we have 3 in grave. What does his grave look like?
We have 3? We have 4.
Oh, we have 4? What does his grave look like?
He's got a Tenyi.
So the thought is to make Crossvelger and shuffle that back, hit him for about 6,500 damage, somewhere in that 6,700 damage. And if I'm not mistaken, the deck is fairly graveyard reliant, right? The 10U version.
Yeah, but not the 10E cards don't matter. If we just search Revolt and banish whatever monster he summons, we can just banish the cards. If we keep him off having cards on the board ever, we'll be fine, and we can just call by whatever he gets into the grave.
I don't like this guy, this player.
Yeah. I think we should try and get the trap card, but I'll do whatever you say.
We can go ahead and try for the trap card. I'm worried about it being a little slow, but I think it'll probably be fine because we have infinite nothingness in our hand. You can't do anything, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And move battle. Swing Fractal, yeah. You know.
We could also have used Bear Brim's effect to summon back one of these guys and try and do more.
Nah.
Well, we could do it now and make Appaloosa, but then we'd have to put back whatever card we get.
I'd rather honestly just make Rugal and Pat and yeah, grab the thing, the revolt, and put back the Dark Ruler.
They might have the Ash. I would have held Ash here if I were them, so it's probably a solid place to have left it. Ah, they're thinking now. Okay. Alright, I guess we don't need the Dark Ruler.
Yeah, no, the Dark Ruler can get gone. Is that 2?
No Magnite columns for you. Alright. So their turn probably starts with special Tenyi. Oh, they're going to make their own Magnite columns. Guess. That's it? Alright.
Yeah, definitely revolt right here.
Well, I mean, if we win the game, if we don't do it, we might want to just not play into talents. Because we'll get the card back either way from the revolt.
Yeah, you're right. So Rugal. Oh!
We just revolt.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Revolt in the end phase.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, Rugal has to be done in the main phase, which is I was gonna do them both.
No, I know. I get it. It's greedy here. I'm not saying it's bad. We also like.
Yeah, I see what you're saying for sure.
Just because we're gonna have the damage, it doesn't really matter. We just search Fractal and attack him.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're just a normal summon away at this point.
Yeah, and that's that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go back to deck list. All right, Sonny. My expectation of you learning anything from me was lower than everybody else I've had on so far. Do you feel you've learned anything?
Yes, I definitely thought that Revolt was 2 summons, not 5.
It is however many monsters you summon, but Nib specifically counts monsters, not summons. It is 2 summons, which is why you're not allowed to activate it when Wind is on the field. But you do summon the 5 monsters. There's an official ruling in the OCG database that says while Winda is on the field, you can't activate Revolt. The other ruling says if Revolt was activated and then Winda appears on the field, Revolt resolves without effect because there's no possible monster that you would be able to make based on the monsters that could have been summoned.
Right.
So that's the big one that bugged me at the YCS because they did that ruling, but I didn't see that there was an official OCG ruling. Anything else that you may have learned, just out of curiosity, or any thoughts on the deck
I learned that apparently the Baroness de Fleur is the best card ever printed or ever going to be printed, and the Tenyi stuff is kind of bricky.
Yeah, I've heard it can be bricky for them. I don't know exactly how many they play. They still play all the starters, so I'm not sure what they're cutting. It could just be hand traps. Any thoughts on searching the kit instead of the Fractal on the follow-up?
It kind of depends on your hand.
Now, the logic I've heard, and this is from DB Grinder's channel, I believe it's from... Are you familiar with DB Grinder?
Yes, very.
All right, so, just meta duels. He says you get the kit on the follow-up because it helps you grind, and if Fractal gets stopped, the kit can just go into Almirage in the later game, search you the Keras, and maybe you can keep going. So, whereas you commit the Fractal to search the card, and then you can't really do anything with the kit at that point. So that's like the logic, I think. So there is like a difference.
It kind of depends on what's in your hand, because if
you don't have a Beast Warrior to discard, then it doesn't make a difference. But if you do have a Beast Warrior to discard, then it sounds like the kit might be the safer play. But again, I'm sure everything is dependent. A definitive right or wrong is never the right answer.
Right. I think it's like kind of like a flow chart. If you've already used Almirage, or if you've already used Almirage, or you don't have a crossout in hand, then you go. Okay, so like, if you go kit, you have to either, like, if you don't have crossout in hand or you've already used Almirage, you go kit. But if you still have, if you've already used, I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, if you have a way to like protect the if you have a way to use the kit after it gets negated,
Right.
you should probably go kit. If not,
Right, because if you have a way to protect through, see, if you've already used Almirage, there's no point in grabbing kit unless you have.
I guess you could have another monster on board, I guess, and make a Fergie with it or something.
Yeah, it kind of you have to really observe the game state and make a decision.
Which is the big thing that I'm trying to get people to start doing. There's a lot of the people who are coming on here, they're like, oh, I didn't realize I needed this or that. You know, you got to like see what's on the board, see what you want to get to, know what you can get to with the options available. You know, which is all independent per game.
Yeah, it's all about observing the game state and understanding what's going on around you.
All right. Now, the other thing I noticed is that there were definite side deck issues in terms of like what to put in, what to put out. Now, obviously, we weren't playing against the normal matchups to know what the sensible prepared side decking should be. But anytime we're cutting like one Ash and one Imperm for things, and we're putting in like 2 nibs. If we can't ever fit in 3 nibs, or if there's no scenario where we would put in 3 nibs, is there really a reason to have 3 nibs?
Right. I see what you're saying.
But again, these are weird matchups. We obviously weren't prepared for them. I don't know. Do you have a side plan for Drytron? Would you put in, like, what matchup would you put in 3 nibs?
Drytron, I put in 3 nibs against Phantom Knights, which there are multiple of.
All right, so let's say we're up against Drytron right now. We put in 3 nibs. What would you cut? And you put in the Lance.
I don't put in nibs against Drytron.
Oh, you don't? All right, well, we'll do it the other way around. Well, while we got nibs in, let's talk Phantom Knight. We're going up against Phantom Knight. I guess you need these 4 in, right?
Yes.
We won game 1, so we're going second. We put in nib. What do we cut?
So you're going second against Phantom Knights. Cut IO, strike, strike, strike.
Okay, so this seems like an easy one. Are there other cards you would put in for the matchup? Like Dragoon's on board. A bunch of PK traps are on board.
Yeah, it's Lightning Storms and Duster is the other 3 that come in.
All right. Then what will we cut?
So from here, the cuts are the 2 Effect Veilers and 1 Karis.
Okay, so you're solid for that matchup at least. You know, but you should have a general idea of what you're doing most of the time with these matchups. My side deck's awfully weird because I know I can't take out that many cards. There's a lot of 2-ofs in my side deck. And a lot of my main deck cards are like played at 2 already because like, well, they're good enough in these matchups, but I can like make it a 3-of if the scenario makes sense. So like things like that happen more often than people like to admit to. Everybody's side deck looks like 5 3-ofs, which doesn't actually make sense when you can't get them in. Let me go back to the list as per normal. So that's just something to consider.
Going first against PK though, if I lose game 2. So like if I'm going into game 3, I'm going for whatever, you know, if I'm going first against PK and I happen to know it, at that point, the only thing that comes in is the Lancia, and that's literally it.
What would you cut? Just might as
1
well.
Karis.
1 Karis? Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, that matchup I don't think is too tough because like a lot of your other cards don't really overlap with them. I mean, I would consider putting in the Dark Ruler, but that's just for Dragoon. But I mean, depending on what your outs are for it, you know, it might not be as necessary. Right. Obviously, Shurig just says, you know, goodbye Dragoon. He doesn't care about that. Zeus doesn't care about that. And dealing with Fog Blaze is a pain.
I'll tell you what I lost to yesterday. Yes, how my tournament went yesterday.
All right.
Round 1, I won against Cosmo. Round 2, I won against Drytron. Round 3, I won against what was round 3? Round 3 was Trap Eldritch, and I opened Lightning Storm. It just wins games. And round 4, I lost to Raid Raptor, Time Thief, Phantom Knight, Dragon Link.
Yeah, it's a very normal deck. I've seen that before.
Really?
Yeah, of course. I know I'm making that sound like it's normal. But there is the Time Thief deck is pretty much any 2 level 4s makes 4 Strix, searches the Singing Lanius, and then it's full combo. With like I think if they can make like Parallel Exceed And like if they have paralleled seat and a rank 4, it's like super full combo. And if you can't stop their play at all, you can't win. It's like not possible. But those decks are really fragile. They're like glass, so you can negate like anything, and then they kind of get like a whack ass board.
Yeah, I know. Game 1, I opened 0 interruptions, maybe 1 effect failure, and that was it.
So if they open combo, you lost. Well, maybe to the Veiler you wouldn't.
Open combo. Game 2, I went first. He Lancia'd me, and then I opened double nib.
Nib sounds good.
No, actually, I won game 2. Game 3, I opened double nib.
And that didn't do anything, or they prepared something for it?
He played through it.
Odd.
He played until I didn't have a choice because he was about to rank up into the one that
The Requiem?
whichever one,
He was going to make the Requiem Xyz Dragon?
whichever one causes your opponent cannot activate any effects for the remainder of the turn.
Kali Yuga?
Yeah.
No one summons Kali Yuga. That's
He
a weird one.
definitely summoned Kali Yuga.
Just to verify that we're talking about the same thing. Kali Yuga is only on your turn. He was going to do this on your turn?
He did it on his turn.
He wouldn't summon that on his turn. This one?
Yes.
So this one, the point of this one is versus trap decks. You summon it on your opponent's turn after their priority and main phase is passed, using the rank up magic launch over one of the Raid Raptors. And what it does is it says all cards on the field are negated, and any card that would be on the field at any point are negated for that turn. Yeah, I'm not trying to think of which one says you can't do anything.
Definitely summoned Kali Yuga at some point.
Because the card that used to make it so you literally can't do anything during the turn is forbidden. It's Outer Entity Azathoth. I'm trying to think of
Kali Yuga. I don't know what the other thing was that he summoned though.
The only thing I can think of that they would have made is the Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon, which is like Appaloosa but for Phantom Knights.
Seems like a dumb question. Has Kali Yuga ever been errated?
Kali Yuga is insane. No, it has not. It's also Heavy Storm, by the way. So the point is, literally no spells and traps work. Monsters on the field don't work. I've beaten this card with like Psyframe Gear Beta, the attack one. So they attack into it and it dies, and then I get another turn. That's the only way I've beaten this card. This card's like insane. Oh, also MST on the rank up spell if they try to use it on your turn, because you just do it on the standby or draw phase. They can't activate it until the main phase.
Yeah, he definitely summoned it, and I definitely. I know he did it game 1.
Well, it's a weird one because they have to rank up over a level. They have to rank up over a rank 7 Xyz with no Xyz material using the old rank up spell.
One of the Raid Raptors, Soul Shave Force.
Soul Shave Force doesn't go into that card either. Soul Shave Force definitely goes into like rank 6s. Was it a rank 6?
He went from one Raid Raptor into another Raid Raptor into Kali Yuga.
I mean, Ultimate Falcon says you can't activate effects if he was ranking up into that.
He got there too. He did that too.
Well, yeah, if he summons Ultimate Falcon in general, then yeah, you can't do anything. Unaffected by card effects. Once returned detach 1 material from this card for the rest of your turn. All your opponent's monsters control will lose 1,000. Also, your opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated. So Ultimate Falcon does that.
One, he made Ultimate Falcon, and then I couldn't do anything. Actually, no, yeah, because I was trying to stop him from making Ultimate Falcon, and then he eventually made Ultimate Falcon anyway. I was like, wow.
Oh, that's kind of tough to do. Well, I mean, I think that other one, forgot its name. Arsenal Falcon, like floats into it, sort of.
So yeah, it does. It does. It summons it basically for free.
Yeah, it's a rank 7, I think. I just want to pull it up just out of curiosity.
Arsenal Falcon.
Raid Raptor Arsenal Falcon. It's also huge. All the Raid Raptors are really huge.
Yes, they are.
All right, Raid Raptor Arsenal Falcon. If this card is sent to the grave while it has Raid Raptor monster as material, you can special summon a Raid Raptor Xyz from the extra deck. At least the Ultimate Falcon would come out with no material then, so it wouldn't be able to use its effect to detach and make you unable to do anything. But yeah, I guess if you let him make it, he can
do it.
Well, you gotta let him summon it first and then nib. I don't know if that would have made a difference.
No. The resolution of Arsenal Falcon attaches Arsenal Falcon to it.
Oh.
Yeah. Broken.
Yeah, that is wild.
All
right,
and he would just like blink off the Arsenal Falcon.
I wouldn't worry about matchups like that if that's what you're losing to, because these combo decks, they are made of glass. Usually, you can stop them somewhere. I guess maybe there was an earlier point to nib them before they made this thing, so it wouldn't get that floating.
There was a really early point I could have nibbed him, but I knew because he searched it that he had the extenders in his hand already. I was trying to get as much value as possible.
I hear you. That's the part with the rogue decks, though. The problem with them, like you literally can't know the right point to nib, even if it feels like no, they're gonna do this if this happens. Sometimes it's better to hit the rogue decks earlier because there's probably a point where it just doesn't do anything. There's no way to know.
I think the issue is that he had searched a level 4 and he had not committed to a normal summon yet, and he already had like 5 or 6 cards going.
Yeah, sometimes it's unavoidable. Oh well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, either way,
that's what I know.
Yeah. Well, at least you're winning for the most part nowadays. Going well.
Yeah, these days.
yeah. I've heard nothing but
welcome change of pace.
I've heard nothing about good things on your end, right? Carrying the 3v3 team. I forget.
No, I'm not gonna say that.
All right, I was just kidding. I don't remember the specifics of who did what there. I think it was overall just a bad day, right?
Yeah, it was that was a tough day.
Yeah.
That was a tough day. I lost round 1 to Drytron, lost round 2 to Trap Eldritch. So.
All right. Well, we all have bad days too, But as long as we're making some changes and something productive is happening, it's always good.
But the changes that day was the first day of legal crossout, and I resolved crossout 3 times in one duel, and it was just the best.
I don't know. I'm actually not even sold on this card, whether it's really great or not. I'm sure it's fine.
It's really great in like 2 decks.
I imagine it to be really good in the mirrors for any matchup. So.
Yeah, but like to run it, you have to already be able to run like 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 hand traps.
No, I think you can play no hand traps and just side 3 cross out for the mirrors if you're playing in like mirrors. But
yeah,
because you just hit the main deck cards. You just play against Drytron and hit the alpha, and then the alpha does nothing. Hit your Ben 10, hit their Ben 10. I don't know. I guess you wouldn't want to.
No, yeah, it's great. It's great in certain mirror matches. You're absolutely correct. Or in every mirror match, if you're running like super duper meta, it's wonderful. But
yeah, you have to be running meta. That was the exception. Like, I don't play meta, so it wouldn't make sense for me to side cross outs. I would either have to play the hand traps.
The bigger issue is in a combo deck like Drytron, you don't have room for it, is the issue. Like, when you're siding, you can only side like 4 or 5 cards in most matchups. And even then, you're already cutting like a lot to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're really just worried about one card, and if it's just droll, put in cross out.
It's the same issue with B-Trooper. They can't run it because they don't have room.
Yeah, a lot of these combo decks take up too much room. All right, well, as much as I would love to go on about every deck forever, we will end here. Let's plug again. Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh Podcast.
Yep. Thank you so much for having me on. We do post every Tuesday and every Friday. It's usually always very early, like 8 a.m. Central Standard Time that it goes up.
It's always up for your commute. Always up. All right, cool. That's going to wrap things up. We'll see you guys next time. Hit the subscribe button, like the video, yada, yada, yada. I'm not very bad at these parts.
Have a good day, everybody.
Plugging stuff. All right, adios.